back and I want to go over this trade with you all real quick. It's not going to take us long, but we just want to get an assessment. The market has not closed yet. It's about 3:20. Market closes at 4 o'clock. But I wanted to go over this trade to be able to give some insight and share. You can see the execution marks here, obviously. But what were we looking at on this morning? If we can go back to market open and what we were looking for this morning, did our model not show up and present itself for us to be able to call what we wanted on this morning? If you go back to our live earlier this morning, in which I want to pull this up to be able to get a full understanding as to what we were looking at on this morning, just to see if it adds up, right? Because sometimes when you look at things or when you see things, most people say, oh, well, you didn't call that, or you didn't see that, or, they try to give their spin on it. But I want to go back to this morning. And me going back to this morning, I'm going to pull up our live from this morning. And one thing that's good to have is receipts. When you have the receipts, you literally can go back and be able to share the truth, right? And it's not that you're doing it from a standpoint of, oh, he's hating, or oh, he's trying to s- prove that he's better. It's not any of that. It's more so of getting you to understand when you have a bias and you create a plan within the trade, trade the plan. Plan the trade and trade the plan. It's not about who's always right, but it's about who can be consistent with what is right. And with me, that's all that I care about. Is about consistency. Am I being consistent enough to be able to see things in the market and give a better explanation as to, okay, I see this, that's why I shared this. I seen this, that's why I shared this. So we just shared this out, but I want to pull this up real quick and go to our live session from this morning. I'm pulling it up in another 20 minutes until the market opens. And I'm going to fast forward. I want to see if I can fast forward. Here we go. Fast forward a little bit before I was able to give. So we see price, my thoughts on it. Pulling towards previous day high. I feel like this video is still processing from this morning. Let's see, I'm fast forwarding it a little bit. All right. Okay, here we go. Previous day high. So I did it before. Pulling towards previous day high. We started necessarily here. So I could go back here. I was talking about OTE here, taking an optimal trade entry for today for me to be able to see, do we continue on a bullish trend? And what we would want to see is somewhat of a pullback, and then we enter into the trade and we go to take out buy side liquidity. Oh, that's sitting at previous. There we go. Midnight open. I want to share this with you.
So I'm
all.
gonna start telling you about it, but I just want you to pay attention to this range that's here. We go to a higher, somewhat of a higher time frame to be able to see.
This is why the lives are important.
Go, we're starting to get this delay a little bit again. And today, what we're going to be we're going to be trading on our Top Step funded account. So here's this range here from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. And here's what I'm looking for. We understand and know that we do not use midnight open as a key level of where we trade from or what we trade or how we set up our trades, right? Like we use this as a setup to be able to see how is price equaling itself out at the startup point from midnight open.
Wait a minute now.
And when we take a look at midnight open, here's what I'm paying attention to. So from 3 o'clock to 7, right? I'm paying attention to be able to see, did we sweep midnight open? And we did. At 6:45, we come and we swept midnight open. So with us sweeping midnight open, this here opens up doors for me to be able to see, do we continue on a bullish trend? And what we would want to see is somewhat of a pullback, and then we enter into the trade and we go to take out buy side liquidity that's sitting at previous week high.
Uh-oh. Did
So
we
what
not
is it that
call
I'm
this? Did
actually
this not
looking
happen
for
today?
is this here. If I can, okay. I'm looking for price to reverse back down, retrace. Once we get a retrace, we're able to enter into the trade like an optimal trade entry and what we call in ICT OTE.
Pause right there. Pause. Pause. We wanted a retracement and we wanted to go long to take out buy side liquidity well past previous day high, right? Well past previous day high. It was the next level of liquidity. So we wanted that. And we called that this morning, literally before market open. This is why I said it's important for you to be able to be a part of the lives and be in the lives, because you're going to be able to get game that is just different. Different. So what I'm going to do is
we get an optimal trade.
fast forward to once the market open. I just want to fast forward to when the market opened and what the market gave us this morning.
Order filled.
Price comes all the way back down. Oh, hold on.
Pulling towards previous day high.
I want us to be able to find this.
All right, so we'll let this trade play out to see what we
Of where we got the full pullback. Now we having a shift in structure. Okay, there we go. When we traded on the 7th, we also have some stats for you too. So we also secured. I showed you all on yesterday. When we traded on the 7th, we also secured this 25K account too as well. Just something to be able to add on. We were looking for an optimal trade entry where we wanted price to come right back to what we see here on this fib. 75.35 was what we was looking for, right? As far as our entry, 75.35. Let's see if we can continue to get a retracement right at market open. We have about 1 minute until market opens. So it's about 1 minute until the market opens. And we're just going to sit here and just take a second to be able to see, was our initial bias of what we wanted was correct? Because I want to make sure that these things are good for you, so that therefore you can understand why we do what we do in the pre-market prior to the market actually opening. And you can see how I had a plan and I traded that plan. The market has just now opened and now it's pulling itself back. The retracement of what we wanted. See if the market wants to deliver. Where we said we wanted an optimal trade entry to be able to enter into the trade. If we go to a higher time frame and we look at this on a 1 hour, right? Taking a look at this on the 1 hour, you kind of can see. So it'll make it invalid if we just come and just sweep this whole entire thing. But coming here at 75.357, 75.35. How does the market react there at that level? But we're reacting off of this 1 hour fair value gap. That's here. See that was the potential area for a buy that's there. But so you see how we got price to come back to our optimal trade entry. That is where order block we should have entered into the trade, correct? But if you missed out on that trade here and entering into your long there, then you could have waited until we got displacement above previous day high to give you even more of a second indicator on taking the trade. So we wanted to just show that part, right? That we were correct on our bias. Now let's go and discuss the trade within itself in its entirety. So as we look at this, this was the trade of what we took today. Now, when we talk about the trade itself in its entirety, what was it that I was actually trying to accomplish in today's trade? Well, I wanted buy-side liquidity to be taken, or at least sweep buy-side. And that's exactly what we was able to get, was that. But we got it through what? Here was our swing low from our low range this morning. And here was our high. And you could see where our profit targets were. And where we took profits, we entered back into the trade, and where we took our exits. All of this is off of this Fibonacci, our OTE. All of it is off there. I'm not telling you something that I did not do myself. I Literally went and found the replay for you. I didn't even know the exact timestamps to even think to do this prior to us even going live to do a recap on it. I just thought about it literally while we were uh live. And I was like, hold up. This morning we can actually go back in time to be able to see what our initial bias was pre-market, when market open, did price deliver and give us exactly what we wanted? And then when did we enter into the trade? Because we don't want to necessarily be first buyers, which we could have in our OTE entry, right? Our OTE entry model definitely presented itself. But what we saw when we did get our model was price pulled all the way back to 75.29, right? Causing a good bit of drawdown, depending on the type of leverage it is of what you had, right? We wanted price at 75.35, 75.38, right? 75.38. So 75.38 was what we actually wanted, but price came all the way to 75.29. So that's what caused us to wait. We didn't set a limit order, we waited. And when we waited, we got the reversal of what we wanted. We saw that. And we had a couple of opportunities to be able to enter, but we did not want to be first. We wanted more confirmation. Jeremy, what was that extra confirmation of what you wanted from us to come out of this consolidation and break above previous day high? We came out of consolidation here, broke above previous day high, and it was on from there. Our first initial profit target was at 75.77, profits taken. We re-entered back into the trade, meaning that I added more contracts. I didn't leave the trade completely. I had put on 10 contracts to start. Once price got to our first initial profit target, I scaled down a little bit, took some profits, secured profits. Then I added more contracts once I knew we were getting ready to head back to buy side liquidity. And it was the perfect story. What made it the perfect story? Well, I knew after this strong high here, once we was able to disrupt this strong high, that price was going to deliver the buy side. I just had to be patient enough to allow the trade to play itself out. I had to give my stop loss wiggle room. We did not move our stop loss. Our initial stop loss was right here below this level here at 75.46. That's where we had our stop. And we did not move our stop until we hit our first initial profit target. Once we hit our first initial profit target, we moved our stop to break even. Once we moved our stop to break even and we broke above another key level, then we started trailing with our stop, but enough to allow the trade to breathe. Once you allow the trade to breathe on minor pullbacks, you end up catching full TP. And as you can see, we took profits here at our second profit target at 75.90. And once we broke above buy side liquidity, boom, that was our final exit out of the trade. Done. But what gave me that initial bias? As you can see, I was talking about this morning something that was very important along the lines of paying attention to a certain time frame. That's this. This time right here was very important to me. Jeremy, why is that? Why was it very important? The reason why this was very important to me was because I needed to set some set my mindset on what happened between London up until 7 a.m. and did we sweep or trade above or below midnight open during this time frame? And if we did we sweep midnight open in order to be able to be in the longs of where we are now. And if we are in longs and we swept midnight open, then obviously I'm looking for an OTE. I'm looking for an optimal trade entry at that point. And when I look for an optimal trade entry at that point, I'm looking for price to deliver within certain key levels. That's it. And you can see exactly how the fibs play themselves out perfect as far as our entry, our target one, and our target two. So I was talking about midnight open and I was having this conversation in which I'm gonna go a little bit thorough in it. Today I'm going to send out a message to a few of my trading mentors and partners, and just to ask this question, because to me, the way that people use midnight open, and they say, oh well, midnight open is not an important level at all, period, is not a key level for you to trade from at all. And I get that. I absolutely get it. It is not a key level to trade from, but it plays an important role in your understanding of your initial bias at that point. And what it do for me is give me the idea to be able to understand, okay, if we are above midnight open, and if I'm doing just some simple homework on trades, simple. If I change time frames and I were to go to the 15-minute time frame and I go back in time, when we were below midnight open, we shorted. When we are above midnight open, we go for long. A lot of our trades, I don't know why I took the majority of them off, but I'm going to do a recap of all our trades, and I want that to be the initial thought process of what it is of what I'm thinking. Is it a crack below? Do we go for short, right? Once we are above, do we go for longs? Because time and time again, it seems to be delivering that. And I know when people say, oh, well, midnight open is not an important level, da 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 da. Well, I'm not so sure about that. And I'm going to do my due diligence and going back to be able to see if I could find importance within that. But overall, for myself, and what I'm noticing is that, hey, for me, this is what this is delivering every single time. Every single time. So when you are not dealing with crappy price action of what we had on yesterday, this is what we had on yesterday. We could have caught a long on yesterday, but we was just getting stopped out for some reason. I have no idea as to what is the reason, but these wicks right here tell a lot of the story. Look at these bodies of what we got today. Body, body, body. The only wicks you got were the manipulated point of being able to go and draw down to sell side before it came out to take out buy side. So my whole thing is this: you have to come up with your own reasoning as to why you use certain levels, and you can't be drawing off to think of what others may think. You have to use your data, your system, your analysis to be able to give you that every single time. Because for me, I use it for something different than what most people who trade ICT use it for. But I know for me, it delivers every single time. Here's one example, and here's the second example. That's a second example of it. So that's below, and this is above. So we want to pay attention to this range here from 3 to 7 a.m. You pay attention to this range. Once you understand what happens within this range, it will better help you with determining your bias on today, on that day in particular, not just today, but on that day. For us, that's what we did for today, paying attention to what happened from 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. I mean 7 a.m. Once we was able to see that sweep of midnight open, creating sell side here, what happened? Oh, okay. We know we're going to be bullish today. We want to possibly see if we can catch a OTE entry. And we started to look for that, but we did not set any limit orders at all. No limit orders. We waited for price to confirm. That means that we wasn't looking to be first. That's why if we wanted to be first, we would have got into our entry here at 75.38 with a little bit of a drawdown. But look at what happened within the next candle. Came right back and we would have got wicked out of the trade being first. That's why you don't want to be first. Once price comes back and then we start our bullish momentum, now I can enter into the trade because I have second confirmation. What is my second confirmation? A break above previous day high. We were rejected right here twice. We were rejected here and here. We were rejected twice. We got rejected here and here. Why do you think these wicks are here? Because price started to pull back towards sell side, where most people would have said, oh, let's go ahead and take shorts. There's no reason to take shorts yet until you get full displacement below the sweep of sell side. What created sell side? That's where you want to go and take your low. I mean, your short. So we knew loans were still coming because look at what buyers did each time price drew down here. Pushed it back up. Pushed it back up. It's like, okay, the buyers are stepping in. They're stepping in very strong. Once we crack above previous day high, and you can go and look at this, you can go and see the entry point from today's stream. That's the beauty of this. You're creating your own trading journal. If you have the ability to trade live and you believe in yourself enough to trade live, you're creating a trading journal for yourself within your lives. That's why I'm able to go back on live to show you all. I could literally go back and show you where our entry was and what I said during this time frame. Hey, I want to break above previous day high. If I get a break above previous day high, it's on. What did we get? Break above previous day high, and it was on to buy side liquidity from that point. And you can see how the Fibonacci's hit every single time. Once we hit our first target at 75.77, boom, we took profits off the table, secured some profits. Once price came right back into that same level of where we took profits from, I added more to my position. I added more to my position here, and I held all the way to buy side. Once we got buy side and hit my second TP level at 75.90, I took some more. I took at least 90% of my position off the table at the first at 75.90. I left 10%. I left that runner to go ahead and sweep buy side and close myself out of the trade. That's a beautiful trade. That's an A plus setup. That's an A plus setup. You're above the 50, you're long. Every single time. Look, even if we didn't be early the very first time, we still got OTE. Jeremy, where? Right here. Look how perfect it hit. Look how perfect price drew down to that level. We could have been patient enough to just wait for that. And that would have been a beautiful entry there. And we would haven't been first at all there. First was back here. Second, just being patient enough, boom. Once price hit right there, perfectly on the fib. Come on. This is why I say it's important to be able to know your key levels, know where we are in the market, understand the story that's being told through the wicks. The wicks tell the story. They tell you who is controlling the market. If buyers are stepping in at a certain key level and pushing price right back up, and they do it consistently back to back, oh, you should have very good confirmation that you're long. All you have to do now is wait on the setup to happen. Once your setup occurs, you take it. I know really good ICT traders who took this trade on today and caught bank. Some of them even came in the second half of the day because it didn't work for them in the first part of the day. They wasn't patient enough because usually we're out of the market by 11 o'clock a.m. Something told me today just to hang on just a little bit longer. I held on and I entered into the trade at around 11 o'clock. You can see right here. It was about 11 o'clock, 11:05, somewhere around there was when I entered into the trade, and I stayed on stream. And you could go back and look at this on stream. I stayed on stream till about 11:30 till price got close to our first initial TP. But once it hit 11:30, I was like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. I'm gonna let the trade run, and I'll come back and discuss the trade once the trade is over. But I'm telling you what's gonna happen. We're going to take out buy side. This is about to be a winning trade. And so I came right back afterwards just to show it to you. So you see there, price action has been delivering. It even delivered yesterday. We had the same initial thought process on yesterday, but where we wanted this, we wanted a sweep of previous day low. Boom, we got that. The thing is, we couldn't trade that because we were having problems with TradingView connecting to our account, and so it had a little bit of a lag, a very bad lag. So, but this trade played itself out very perfect. Everything of what we called was in this trade. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of those who took the chance and the risk to trade with me today. You should be up big time on today. And we'll be right back again tomorrow to be able to do the same thing on tomorrow. Now, tomorrow being Friday, we may be looking for. I don't even want to set no bias yet, but if we do this based off of percentages, because Friday usually be one of those days where things kind of seem a little bit lethargic, a little slow. Sometimes price delivers very early, right? So if you don't catch it right at market open, then you may miss out on the trade. Usually that manipulated move be the move on most cases on a Friday. But did we get any of that on today out of what we trade? No, what we got today was continuation, price continuation. That's what we got on today. That's why we were looking for OTE model. So we're going to see what price do on tomorrow. Tomorrow we will not be trading our fundeds. We will probably be trading our legacy. We'll probably trade legacy on tomorrow. So those of you who are going to be trading with me tomorrow, we still going to stick to the script, but we won't be trading fundeds on tomorrow. We may not even. We'll see. I'll make that decision and that choice on tomorrow on what we do. But y'all see it right here. Beautiful trade. And it plays off of everything of what we were talking about right here with this. And I'm going to gain a little bit more clarity and have understanding. But based off of what I've been seeing each and every time, it has given us that. If we crack above this level here, boom, you got to take a long. And I think the manipulation came with this, which had people either getting stopped out, wicked out of position, wicked out of their trades. That's the manipulation that was there. So you did get this accumulation, you got the manipulation, and then distribution. Perfect. I mean, it played itself right into our hands. So hopefully that helped, right? And if you have any questions, just go into the lives. Go and watch the lives. I know they're 2 hours long, but you have time frames, right? That's in the lives that tell you like when we're getting ready to set up the trade. And that's usually around 10 o'clock. If I haven't entered into a trade by 10 o'clock, you can still start watching the video there because you're gaining what the bias is and great information prior to us being able to take the trade. So I hope this helps. I hope this was good for you, just like how it was good for me. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. Continue to make bank. And it's your boy Jeremy. I'm out.